Now that we wipe the inside of the tank free of algae, we'll go ahead and start vacuuming the gravel.
Welcome back to part 2 of Algae versus Algae. We've been modifying our existing algae filter into one that we believe is going to be more effective simply due to the exposure of air, or more air and less water, to the algae itself. We've just finished vacuuming the sand on the inside of the tank, and we're now ready to start replenishing the water. That's 30 gallons of water, 5-gallon jug at a time. And by the way, this is real ocean water. The advantages to me in using real ocean water is I don't have to have a purification system, nor do I have to inventory bags of salt. Additionally, I don't have to stand around and actually make the water. It's simply delivered to me every other Tuesday, and it's anywhere from 450 to 600 gallons every delivery. The reality is that this is a regionally delivered product. In other words, they draw the water out of the Long Beach harbor, purify it, and then deliver it here in the Los Angeles area. As I mentioned in part 1, the owner of this aquarium has allowed me to place the decorative coral skeletons into the tank as decorations until we can get past the algae issue. And it's the algae issue, more specifically the filter that we've built to try to deal with the algae issue. That's the whole point of this particular episode. We created what I call an algae filter. Some might refer to it as a refugium, but I refer to it as an algae filter, as that's what its original intent was, and that's what its goal is to do, is provide filtration via using algae to compete with other algae. We're here today to modify that algae filter to try to make it more effective or more efficient by allowing a greater exposure of air to the algae as well as the water inside the algae filter itself. What we're attempting to do today is to drop the water level within the algae filter, and using a spray bar apparatus to spray the water out over a screen, all of this occurring above the water level in the algae filter, providing a greater exposure of oxygen to those algae and water. The goal being a much more effective version of algae scrubbing. The greater exposure of oxygen will allow not only the water, which holds more oxygen, to provide more oxygen to the algae, which in turn use oxygen not only to photosynthesize, but as a result of photosynthesis, they will consume more nutrients out of the water, thus dropping the nitrate and phosphate levels not only quicker, but also more naturally. In addition to making these modifications to the algae filter, we've also scheduled this modification at the same time while I'm doing regular service to the aquarium. We've previously cleaned the inside of the tank, we vacuumed the gravel or sand at the bottom of the tank, we've now removed the dirty decorations, and we're in the process of replenishing the water as well as replacing the decorative corals in the tank. Those decorative corals may not resemble the former glory of all the living versions that originally were in the tank at one time. But at this point, the homeowner is not ready to invest monies in living corals if the algae in the tank can potentially not only overwhelm them, but at the higher levels of nutrients, specifically nitrates and phosphates, might also interfere with the success of the various living corals. Does your aquarium have an algae problem? Do long green strands of algae grow all over everything? Is red not the color you wanted your rocks and gravel to be? Then you should consider the Santa Monica Algae Scrubber. This unit is designed to be placed above the aquarium or straddling the sump or wet-dry trickle filter below the aquarium. The Santa Monica Algae Scrubber uses 2 light enclosures placed on either side of a specially designed acrylic body to grow algae on a screen suspended from a spray rod inside the unit. That screen quickly and naturally grows its own algae, which in turn is scraped off on a weekly basis. If you want your fish or reef aquarium back, the Santa Monica Algae Scrubber is the solution. Visit santa-monica.cc for more information. Are you ready for the Marine Aquarium Expo this coming March 31st through April 1st of 2012? This is the largest aquarium consumer trade show in North America and a destination spot for marine hobbyists. Held at the newly remodeled OC Fair and Event Center and featuring over 100 exhibitors, speakers, demonstrations, and a huge product raffle. There's even a fin zone for entertaining young hobbyists. That's the Marine Aquarium Expo at the Orange County Fairgrounds this coming March 31st through April 1st, 2012, Saturday 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Sunday 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Adults $15, senior and military only $10, kids under 12 are free. For more information, visit marineaquariumexpo.com.
So you can see we've now dropped the water level in the reservoir and placed the U-shaped screen scrubber in position on top of that previous elbow discharge nozzle. The water level obviously is a lot lower. One of the things that we didn't take into consideration was the unevenness of the bottom, whereas this unit could be sitting like this, or should be sitting like this, but the bottom of the tub leans in a little bit, so we're able to adjust the spray bars a little bit to try to achieve a little bit better water dispersion. But you can see it's fairly well covering the entire screen, and of course this light here will sit on top of that, illuminating that U-shaped screen. So what I need to do is make a little adjustment in the height of this, and then there is that drain down there that I want to somehow protect or do something so the algae don't slip through there.
Actually, it's not the concern of algae slipping through there, although some of the algae could. The greater concern is that the algae would concentrate around the drain itself, blocking the flow from exiting the tub and returning to the filter below, not only resulting in the filter below running out of water, but potentially the algae filter itself not only filling back up, but possibly overflowing.
Okay, so we've got our spray bar and screen in position. We cut down the top of it a little bit so that the light hood will fit on there securely and snugly. You can see here how the light illuminates that screen. There our unit is snugly sitting on top.
And that light hood simply sits on top of a Rubbermaid tub. This is something you can pick up at your local hardware store.
So we've gone ahead and serviced the tank, done a 30-gallon water change, and we've modified the algae filter to become more of an algae scrubber by placing that screen in there with a diffused flow via the spray bars across it. And of course it's heavily illuminated from the light above. We'll come back in 2 weeks and we'll see what the tank looks like. Until then, always keep moving forward.